Hello? Haters? Yep, this one's for you. If you're a hater, you might want to watch this video because it could be your last. Now, cue that intro. Good morning, y'all. Unfortunately, it is raining. It's been raining since last night. It was just non-stop rain. But like I said earlier in my intro, guys, today is the day that the haters are done. I can't deal with it anymore. So this is your last and final warning, haters. If you're talking trash on the video, I will block and delete you instantly, no questions asked. I have zero time to waste on you guys. And yes, I said waste because if you're on there just talking trash, you are a waste and a piece of junk. And I have no time for that on this channel. It's gonna be nothing but positive. And if you can't bring that to the table, I don't even want you here. So you talk trash, you're out. This is your final warning. The rest of the video is gonna be nothing but positive. And don't make me hit that delete button because it's very easy to block and delete. So let's go ahead and get on with our day. We got a lot to do. Unfortunately, Matt will only be helping a little bit today. He was sick. He is not feeling well. Yesterday, as you could tell, we didn't do a whole lot of work. He said he wasn't feeling well, and I was like, you're just being a sissy. Well, he ended up throwing up a whole bunch, and then even last night he woke up and was throwing up, and it's just been raining nonstop and all that. So I am not gonna put Matt through that. Yes, he's here, but just because I have people here does not mean it's free labor. I'm not going to just put people to work every time they come out. So Matt's gonna kind of take it easy today. He might help a little bit here and there, but he is not feeling well. So guys, if you can keep him in your thoughts and prayers, that'd be awesome. And let's beat this rain. It's gonna rain all day and possible snow tonight. So let's put a fence in because I need to get my animals up here. All right, so Matt's up. He's got a raincoat on. He's trying to stay as dry as possible. He's gonna help a little bit, but not too much.
But yesterday, I don't know if it was the breakfast we ate at the hotel, because we ate different stuff.
Yeah. But
I was telling him the whole trip, like, man, my stomach's cramping up. I don't feel good.
I was just like, you're being a wuss.
Yeah, you were talking trash. And I don't know, we made it to I did record a video yesterday too, and while editing it at Walmart, I was just like, oh, I think I'm gonna throw up. And I just non-stop puked for until we got back, and then I fell asleep, woke up, puked some more, and I just feel super weak, people. I'm hoping it was just food poisoning and not anything else. But I mean, I didn't have body aches or fever, I don't think. I don't know. Yeah,
so we're not 100% sure. So he's gonna help a little bit, but I already told him, I said, just do what you want to do. You don't have to do a whole lot. Right now, we're just gonna try to get the chainsaw and go cut a pathway where the fence is gonna go. Try to just go ahead and start getting that up, like I said earlier, because I have my animals coming. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with the fence. Well, it's supposed to rain all day.
Yeah, I know, and it even says it might snow tonight. So
yeah.
I mean, if it ain't one thing, it's the next.
So it's just gonna be crazy weather all day. So we're gonna just make the best of it and see what we can get done. As you guys can see, we got a good pathway through here, about 2 feet wide or so, because we're gonna run the fence there. And then I got it all the way down to the corner where we're gonna go. And as you guys know, we're gonna use trees as our fence post. And I'm not really worried about hurting the trees or anything. I'm gonna put, you'll see later, I'm not worried about it. And then this tree over here is the one we cut down yesterday with the other chainsaw, and this chainsaw is the way to go. It's a lot more expensive. I was very, very lucky to have been gifted this, so thank you, you know who you are. You've done more for me than you'll ever know. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this top off at a slant, and then I'll end up clear coating the top. That way it's at a slant, the water will hit and go off, and it'll last as long as it can. But I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna cut it as straight as I can, because as of right now, it's bowed out, and I don't want that. I want the fence to be as straight as possible. So I'm gonna cut this and then try to cut it down, and then put the fence to that. So let's see what this little chainsaw can do.
Night and day compared.
That's a
to you start a
chainsaw.
fire?
It's just because the water and stuff on it. So now I'm gonna go in and cut this side out and try to straighten it up. It's probably gonna take a minute to do it, so we'll show some and then I'll show you afterwards. So I got it all cut. This is a beautiful piece of wood right here. I know if I were to make a table, that would look really, really cool. So one of these other trees that needs to be cut down, I'll end up doing that. Building some awesome furniture. I used to do that for a living. A lot of you don't know that, but you can go search Crocker Twin Creations on Facebook, and at the very beginning of my channel, the first videos I ever put out were woodworking. So basically I cut it straight, so now we could run the fence along here and then have a good flat area, and then I cut a groove down here in the bottom the fence will just slide into and kind of hold it in place, and that way it'll hold it from bowing out at the bottom, so if the goats and stuff try to hit it, it'll stay. So now we got to roll out the fence. It's gonna be heavy. It's got 330 feet, 2 rolls of it, so we're gonna have to roll out about 100 feet of it here in the front and start doing that. This is where I need Matt's help. Guys, I almost forgot. I went to some of y'all's channels that y'all have YouTube channels. You know how to do everything. Y'all are experts. And I bought a shirt that has your channel name on it. So I'm going to wear it in support of you guys. It's stuck to my overalls. Alright guys, so I got my shirt on now. Busy doing nothing homestead. It's for all you guys out there. This is, don't say I don't support your small channels out there that like to comment on my stuff. So, there you go. Let's get this fence up. Just roll it down. Just watch the camera. Alright, so we stretched the entire fence all the way from the one side to here. This is going to be technically my corner post that we're going to use for this tree for. And what we're going to do is, we're going to get this fence. I know a lot of you are already saying it's too short, goats are gonna get out. I'm gonna do barbed wire on top because 1, I don't want any people coming in, and 2, hopefully it'll keep out coyotes, stuff like that trying to get in. Yes, they can still get in, but hopefully it'll rip them up a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is put it around the fence, pretty simple. And then once you come all the way around, once it comes all the way around, what I'm going to do is I need to cut these links out right here. That way I could use it to wrap around the fence, so whenever we pull it that way, it pulls real tight. So I'm going to attempt to do it with just these real quick. And don't cut these, the ones that are going horizontal, cut the ones going vertical. And of course I am not an expert at this, but I've put in a fair share of fencing, several thousand of feet over the last few years, and this has worked for me.
Y'all did all the fencing at Jared's, right?
All the fencing at Jared's house. We did stuff at the ranch, and so you just want to make sure you don't leave these somewhere that can mess up anything later. So I'm gonna pile them up there and get them later. But yeah, I have put in tons of fencing, and this is actually an old rancher taught me these things. So if you can learn from an old-time rancher, you're learning some good things. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that to the rest of them down, and I'll show you in a bit what we're gonna do. All right, now you can tell, cut them all off. Looks like barbed wire now, and I'm going to wrap it around the tree, and when it gets around, I'll use this wire to hook it on, and it'll hold very securely. So I'll show you that on the other side real quick. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this around as good as I can. And I want to make sure to keep the bottom as low as I can. And it doesn't have to be super tight the way it is, because when you stretch the fence, it's going to pull it real tight. So as of right now, you're just trying to get it on. And again, I'm not an expert, but I have put in a lot of fencing this way, and it works very, very well for me. Go way around with the next one. We're going to pull it as tight as we can, and we're going to put it on the next one down. And I'm gonna go under, and then you want this to be as tight as possible here, so when you do it, when it pulls it even tighter, it's a really good bond on there with the wires, and it'll be a pretty strong fence. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but I have done this many, many times on other fences and never had an issue. So I'm gonna continue to do it here, and it's the easiest, quickest way that I found, and that's what I'm gonna do. You don't have to do it, but it works for me. All right, now you can tell the fence is all the way down. It's wrapped around the tree, and now whenever I pull it tighter down there, I'm gonna use a come along, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna hook the come along to that to pull it tight. So normally on a fence, you got good straight lines. Here you don't. So I'm gonna probably have to use the come along a couple of different times and pull it and stretch it, which is a bummer. I'm used to doing about 300 feet and pulling it straight and pulling it real tight and then just hooking it on. So now I have to do it about halfway down and then do it again and again. So I'm gonna go show you how I'm gonna tighten this fence. All right guys, so an easy way to make a fence puller, if you want to call it that, I don't know technical terms here. You just get a 2x6, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark it as tall as the fence. Just you mark with your knife, it's not a big deal. I'm going to go a little bit taller, actually, just a little bit bigger. And then cut that, and I need 2 of them. Now that you have both these boards cut, you want to line them up the best you can. It doesn't have to be exactly flush, but you want it as close as possible. Then just get 2 screws. Screw in one side, then screw in the other. And then drill holes, we're gonna put bolts through it, and this will clamp on the fence and you can pull it. All right, now go ahead and get a drill bit. And I got 4 bolts, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line it up right here where the fence is. There's gonna be a little bit on the bottom, a little bit on top, more on the top than bottom. That way it's not keeping your fence up off the ground. Then I'm gonna drill through to where it's right above the bottom one. So basically right here. All right, all the way through. And then we're gonna go up about 1/4 of the way. Again. And then right here in the very top. So the fence that I connected is way down there, and it's gonna come straight into this tree, and then it kind of cuts back another way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pull it straight back that way. I'm gonna hook it on with a come along. I'm gonna put the stretcher thing that I built on there. You can buy those, but nuh-uh, I ain't doing that. You can build it. And then I'll hook it to that tree. So I'll show you how I stretch a fence really quick and easy by yourself on the cheap. All right, so now you're gonna grab your boards that you drilled the holes through. Of course, the holes went all the way through. And I marked them top and outside, so I know that this is top, this is outside the board. All the holes will line up. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna sandwich the fence inside, or you're gonna sandwich the fence inside the boards. And then you're gonna take your bolts here. I got a bolt and 2 washers and a nut. So bolt and washer on one side, bottom. It's gonna go through, and as you can see, I want it on this side of this wire, so when the board gets pulled that way, it'll hold against it. And then you're gonna line up the holes. Of course, you're gonna have to smash the fence down. Line up the holes, and then you're gonna put your washer on. Then you're gonna put the nut on. And then you're gonna tighten it, and it's gonna sandwich. So I'm gonna do all 4, and I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'll tighten it, and then we'll hook it up. All right, guys, so as you can see, I got the board on there. I tried to move it all the way to this side, but as you can tell, there's still a gap. So what I'm gonna do is, it's sandwiched, so you got all the bolts on this side, and just start to tighten it. Then just kind of go all the way down. All right, now as you can tell, they're all the way in. It's actually pressing into this wood, and that gap is gone. It is pinched all the way down it as good as it can go, maybe a little more on the very bottom, but it is all the way. So now we're gonna hook on a ratchet strap around here and around the bottom, and then we'll hook it to the come along and we'll pull it. All right, so now, like I said, I'm gonna use this ratchet strap. You can use rope or wire, whatever you want. And all I'm gonna do is hook it around the top and the bottom, and it'll be what pulls it tight from top to bottom. You just wanna wrap it all the way around the wood. That way, it holds it real tight. And then now, as you can tell, you got it hooked on top, hooked on bottom, and then you're gonna put the come along hook here, and it's gonna pull evenly top and bottom, and then we're gonna hook the come along to the tree and pull it. This way, I'm using a ratchet strap because everybody has ratchet straps in their truck. And again, just showing you how you can do stuff on the cheap with what you already got. All right, so I got it hooked on there to the come along, hooked onto the tree. We're gonna start pulling it, and then standing at the fence, and you'll see it get straightened up and tight. All right, so as it gets tighter, you wanna go and stand your fence up as good as you possibly can. So the tighter it gets, the straighter it'll become. And you wanna make sure whenever you're doing this, that this is a good even pull from top to bottom, because if you start pulling the bottom too much, it's gonna be out of whack. So you wanna make sure this is a good distance on each top and bottom. And so far, it's looking good. The fence is already getting tighter. My only issue is I may not have enough pull right here, but I think I might. Maybe just enough. Okay, so I got it. It's not tight all the way yet, but I want to do a little test run and look at the fence. But you can tell it's connected to the tree, to the come along, to the little stretcher thing that I made. The fence is actually, look at that. It's stretching pretty good. So there's always more than one way to skin a cat, and this is exactly where we want it, to this tree. and then we want it to this tree, and we'll hook it to that. So basically, what I need to do is make sure it's going right where I want, and I want the bottom of this fence in that gap. So that's what I'm gonna do, is put it in there, make sure it's all going straight where I want. So that little groove we cut works perfect, and it also is gonna help, like I said earlier, from keeping the goats and stuff from pushing the bottom. It kind of, you know, it kind of is a double purpose here. Rather than cutting the whole stump out, leave it like that, and then we'll end up stapling the fence to the trees. So I'm gonna pull a little bit tighter and keep it nice and good. In case some of you are wondering, this is a 2-ton come along, so plenty strong enough. It's not gonna bust, the wire's not gonna bust. These toe straps, put a little bit of a limit to it, but it's not gonna bust. I'm not gonna overdo it, but it's pretty strong, pretty tight, and the fence is getting tighter and tighter, so it's almost where I want it. I'm gonna tighten it up just a little bit more to where I can play a nice little song. Oh, haters gonna hate, 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 hate. Something like that, right? All right, so the fence is pretty dang tight. As you can tell right here, between this tree and that tree, it's pretty tight. So I don't think anything really is gonna push that over. Of course, from this tree to that tree, we have a long span. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to buy some T-post and try to drive it down into this rocky ground, and that's gonna be a whole nother thing that I don't want to do. But for now, it's stretched really, really tight and good. As you can tell, it's still tied very, very tight down there at the tree. So what I did worked. So what I'm gonna do now is come in with some staples, and I'm gonna staple the fence to the tree. It's not gonna hurt the tree. It's not really gonna do anything to it. So I'm not worried about this. Really and truly, this may be a temporary fence, because what I really want is all my animals on that side over there eventually. But for now, I want a pen over here, keep people out and keep my animals in close to me. So I'm gonna go get staples and we'll hook it to the tree. All right, so like I said, we're gonna staple it to the tree. So I got my staple gun, and this should work pretty good. Let's see here. See, it holds it in really well. So I'm gonna do that. Just kidding, guys. I wouldn't use that. You use these fencing staples, they're real big, and what you wanna do, because the way it's pulling and stuff, I'm going to try to overlap it like that, to where, as you see, it kind of holds both this wire and this wire, and we're gonna just run it all the way up. And that's gonna be stuck to the tree. So because this tree is wide, down here I'm gonna put a couple more in the bottom. Alright guys, so that is stuck against a tree. This fence is really tight, so I gotta take it off from down there, stretch it back the other way. Alright, so now for this one, since I'm gonna have to let the come along go, and we're gonna have to stretch the fence that way instead of back the way it is, I'm gonna get some of this wire and I'm gonna hook it onto this tree and kind of keep it pulled back to the tree that way as much as possible. This isn't gonna do a whole lot, it's just for a little bit extra. So yes, I understand this wire is not the best, but it's what I'm gonna use because it's what I got, and it'll work fine for what it is. So we're gonna wrap around this tree up here at the top. Around there, we're going to come around here, and then around this back part, we're going to come around, Bring it back over. Just for now, to hold it. I'm gonna come underneath. What I'm gonna do is, this one's coming under, this one's coming over, and I'm gonna grab the 2 wires, pinch it, and twist it. And there you go. It'll hold on. It's not the absolute best, but again, it's just extra support. Kind of hold it against the fence, and I'll do that a few times, and on this one as well. And then we'll come along, stretch the fence further that way. Another way you could do it, if you got this skinnier wire, kind of put it in 2, then wrap it around where you want it. I'm gonna do 1 over, 1 under, and then you want to twist it as good as you can. Then grab your vice grips, grab in the middle, and twist them together. Makes it a little bit tighter. So of course, again, this wire is not ideal for this. It's what I have a bunch of it. So I'm gonna use it. It's just extra support, and it'll hold a little bit more, but when you double it up, it makes it a little bit stronger. And then here's another one with even more wire holding it on. So I think it's good. All right, so we got it all the way to that tree like I just showed you. I took the come along off, and now we're gonna pull it from that tree where we left off through this tree on this side of that tree right there, all the way to the other tree over there, and we're gonna pull it tight from over there. So the fence is kind of at a small little V, kind of like a little angle, and just is what it is. So we're working with the terrain, we're working with the trees. This is not gonna hurt the trees at all. I've seen a lot of people use trees for fence posts before. Yes, live trees, we're putting little staples, we're not cutting them, we're not doing anything crazy. Yes, they will eventually grow over the fence, not a big deal. So we're gonna go ahead and run it by here, hook it on that to the end down there. I'm not gonna put a gate at all here in the front. I do not want any gates because I wanna keep people out. I'll end up putting a gate over on the side, but for now in the front, we just want a constant fence so nobody can get in if they ever come down here. Just gonna try to roll it around these rocks. Roll over. All right, before I go too far, I'm gonna take my pickaxe and I'm gonna try to take out some of this rock right here so the fence will be as flat to the ground as possible. That's gonna be some work. A little stash of river rock here. But, all right, when I get this out, I'm gonna try not to mess with the tree. I just need to get some of this rock. I don't know what it's gonna look like under there, so we'll just roll with it. I can always come back with more rock or whatever I need to do, dirt, kind of fill in the low areas. But for now, this will help me get it up against the tree a little bit easier. I got it rolled out. A lot of you guys in yesterday's video were saying I'm foolish that we cleaned up the tent and all that stuff and wasting our time, but the reality is I needed it all moved because the fence is coming right through here. So like I always say, there is a rhyme and reason for everything. And so that's why we had to move this tent and all the stuff, because we're putting fence up. Because the reality is, guys, I need to get my animals from Jared's house. He's been watching them before I moved up here, and very thankful for Jared. He is my twin brother, if you guys don't know. I will tag his channel down in the description, an iCard if I remember to do it. But go check him out and thank him for watching my animals. But I have 4 dogs, multiple goats, a ton of chickens that are already laying eggs, and roosters that I could eat. That's why I want to bring them out here. And then quail that are laying eggs and I can eat, and also a turkey. So there's a lot of animals that I could get out here, but I have to have a fence to get it all out here. And I have to drive down there and get my sawmill. I got some other stuff, and my original goal was to only stay for like 3 days. As you guys know, my plans have changed drastically since moving here. I'm now doing this solo, and so I was only supposed to stay for a few days and go back and bring in the travel trailer, all that type of stuff. Things change, so I'm rolling with the punches, and I'm doing everything I need to get done. But this fence has to get done because that sawmill, guys, is being delivered to Jared's house any day now. So you talk about game changer, but that's why I have to put this fence in, because I have a deadline. I know I haven't told you guys, and I know that's why a lot of you were saying I need to work on the house and stuff, but I do have my priorities straight. That's why we moved all this stuff and cleaned up. That's why we're putting a fence up. That's why we're not working on the house, because today's kind of rainy and nasty. So I'm spending the day trying to get the fence up, and then if I have some time left over, we'll work on the house. All right, so I got my fence stretched as good as I can by hand all the way to there. This is gonna be my corner post, and then I'm gonna run it that way on the other side of the tent. So I can't just cut it right here. I need some extra slack, because I'll show you in a minute. But so I gotta pull this out a little more, and then I'm gonna cut it right there, and then I have a dilemma. So this should be enough right here. I'm gonna cut it right here, and then move this other fencing out of the way. And then yes, I know a lot of you are probably thinking I'm wasting a whole lot right here, and even when it stretches, it's gonna pull even more. It'll make a lot more sense. So let's go ahead and cut this. Yes, this is a little overkill, but you never know when you might need these out here for something else a little bigger. Plus, makes it so easy to cut. All right, so I got this amount right here. I'm gonna go ahead and get my fence stretcher. I'm gonna hook it on as far to the end as possible, all the way, probably about right here, because at the end I'll just pull these off. So I'll put it right here, and then we'll stretch it. But my dilemma is this, guys. The other one had a tree right next to it. Over here, there's no tree. The tree's over there, but it's out of line. The only other tree is way over there, and it's kind of in line, but not really. But it's gonna have to do, because the only other option would be to back my truck up in here, but I might get a flat tire because I got all these little tree stumps that I cut. I don't have time to be cutting all that and stuff. So I think it is kind of in line. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a long chain or tow rope, hook it on there, and then have it here to come along halfway and try to stretch it up that way. We'll see if it works. So as you can tell, I got it hooked to the tree, to the come along, to this, and I need it about 2 feet that way to the tree. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to hook it on to a little stump over here by this house and kind of do it at an angle, and just kind of basically just, it's gonna have to rub against the tree and pull it. I'm hoping it'll work that way. So because I got to get this really tight, and if I pull it tight and then try to push it to the tree, it's just not going to work. So trial and error, I'm going to have to just kind of pull it at an angle and see how this goes. All right, guys, so we did another try. I hooked it onto that tree stump, and then to the come along, to the fence grabber thingamabobber, to the tree. And as you can tell, it is going down the line, but it's got to be on that tree over there, so we're going to have to push it tight. But it pulled it pretty dang tight. I'm actually pretty impressed and very happy with this. And then this right here, of course, it's down in the groove. We'll push it up against the tree, and it should be pretty tight. And then down here, we'll hook it in to this tree right here and get it nice and tight. But as you can tell, it is a good tight line all the way, and then it'll be pushed against the tree some, and then we'll come in between the trees and do the T-post. So I'm really excited. I'm really glad this fence is going up. It's taking a while, but I think we just got some pretty good news. Matt got a call from the transmission shop, and it's It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, they said it should be ready by tomorrow, which is a day early. So
that's pretty awesome. So I think he'll be able to take off. I know a lot of you guys were wanting to see him help me with the build. Tonight, it's literally supposed to snow, is what the weather says. So we don't even want to risk any of that. So he's probably just going to take off, go do his thing. And I just keep putting this fence in and working on the house when I can, doing all that. I'm sure you're kind of excited for the road trip.
I am, but I don't
You're beat.
feel good, yeah.
So guys, just keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And yeah, just keep working, keep doing stuff. If you know anything about the Crockers, we just roll with the punches. Alright guys, so now that the fence is stretched in it the way I needed it, what I'm going to do is with all this extra, I'm going to go like I did at the beginning, and I'm not going to cut the top and I'm not going to cut the bottom yet. I'm going to start like in the middle and work my way up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, and I'm going to cut all these pieces out. Alright, now that you have this one strand, you're going to go ahead and cut it. And this is why you don't want to cut the top or the bottom, because these are the thickest ones, so you want them to be really tight and hold the fence. So when you cut this, it's going to pop off, but we'll use it to wrap the tree. See how it didn't like swing back real hard? So now you're going to go put it around the tree, and I'll show you up close. But make sure when you're cutting those things off, you keep them all, because this gets stuck in your tire, and even though it's not that big of a deal, get you a flat tire real easy. All right, it wasn't enough all the way around, so I'm gonna cut one more. And what I'm gonna do is bring this around. And this one you definitely want as tight as you can get. Like the first ones I showed you at the very beginning, they didn't have to be that tight, because when you pull the fence, it tightens everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut it right here. Get rid of this. And then on here, you're going to go ahead and stick it over, because it fits right there where it looks like a piece of barbed wire. You want to pull it down, and then this one you want as tight as you can. So you're going to kind of just grab your pliers and twist it over. When it comes back over, you want to grab them and just make it as tight as you possibly can. Of course, it's not going to be extremely tight on this first one. I probably should have stuck it behind here and did it. I'll do that on the next one, but for now, this will be fine. It'll hold well enough, and then if it ever gets loose, I can fix it. But that'll work for that one, because I kind of messed up, so I'll show you the next one. All right, let's try this again a little bit better. That's the thing. I'll show you if I mess up. I don't care, because I don't want you guys to mess up and regret it. So this one, I'm going to go ahead and put back here if I can get it through. That's going to be a big pain in the butt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull it right here and see that it goes there. Cut this off. Now I'm going to stick this part through. That way I don't have to do them all. See if I can't get this back there. Alright. Then grab it, pull it as tight as you can. Bend it over. And then now I'm going to try to wrap it around this bottom one, so it'll stay real tight. They do make a tool that you could buy, and you stick it on there and you twist it. It gets really, really good twist on there. and it looks really good. It's really tight, but for me in the woods, no one really coming around here other than you creeps watching me online, this will do. Yes, I called you creeps because there's people like Billy Joe McAllister out there. Dude's a creep. He knows he's a creep. He'll admit that he's a creep because he's a creep. So there you go. That'll do it. That's a pretty good tight hug on the tree so I can go anywhere. So I'll do the rest, and then whenever I cut the top and the bottom, I might show you that, but if not, I'll just show you the final product of it. So as you can tell, it's all the way down minus the very bottom and the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the bottom, do the bottom, and then I'll do the top. But as you can tell, with the top and bottom already off, the fence didn't get any weaker because all these are holding it on. So I'll wrap these around, and that's why I did it that way. That is how you do a corner post on a tree. Again, I am not an expert, but it works great for me. As you can tell, the wire goes all the way around the tree, and it holds on really, really well. So I am not too worried about it coming off, and the reason I don't just keep it super tight and then add wire and put wire all around it is because all these wires are connected to the whole fence, and then it wraps around and holds itself together with one continuous wire from the top, from this tree, all the way around to the corner post way on the other side wrapped around. So it's not gonna go anywhere, it's not gonna come off. It may bust if it's bad enough. And another thing, I know some of you are gonna say that have been doing fences for a long time, why in the world, if you're gonna have the animals on the inside, would I put my fence on the outside of the trees? Here's why. The biggest animals I'm gonna have are goats. And I'm not really worried about the goats getting out. I'm worried about animals getting in. So if a big, say a mountain lion comes out here, which a mountain lion could probably jump a fence, yes, but maybe this will scare it off, or coyotes or whatever. If a coyote comes and tries to push against the fence, it's gonna push against the trees. I'm more worried about coyotes trying to get in to kill my animals than my animals trying to get out. There'll be plenty happy in there doing their stuff. If you wanna keep a goat happy, food and women. That's how it works. They're like dudes. So I'm not really worried about that. I've raised all these animals for a couple years now. A lot of you guys probably don't know that, but we started out with the homesteading, if you want to call it that. We were called the Crocker Homestead. I took that off because I just want it to be a daily vlog. I'm not trying to teach everyone how to homestead because I'm learning as I go. But I have had goats and chickens. We've had a mini horse. We've had all sorts of animals. We've had them all. Turkey, chickens, quail, all that cool stuff, and we've done gardens and all that. So I wanted to get this fence up so I could bring my animals up here, and trying to grow a garden. And then not just for the fence going up just for my animals, it's for protection. I could put all my stuff inside the fence and it'll slow people down if I got 4 big old dogs running around in my fence. So less likely to mess with me at night. And if mountain lion or bobcats want to get in the fence, the dogs will alert me. It gives me more time to get my freedom stick than if I'm in a tent by myself at night with no animals. So I need my livestock and I need my guard dogs. So I think that's it for today, to be honest. Matt's transmission is fixed. So unfortunately and crazy enough, it's actually cheaper for me to drive him out there to go get his car than rent a car. Yeah, it's dumb, but it's just the way it is. So we're gonna go ahead and take off tonight. You'll see this video in the morning. I'm gonna upload it in the morning, and that way it'll come out at 7 o'clock. You should be watching it early in the morning. So guys, thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and all you guys that leave nothing but positive comments, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. You guys are the true heroes and the backbone to this channel. I say it all the time, and I will rep this shirt. Busy doing nothing, probably a lot, because I think it's just absolutely funny. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully maybe at least one person got an idea how to put a fence up. I'm not an expert, but if I could help one person, that's all I care about. So see you guys later. About to hit the road, going to West Oklahoma again. Maybe I might stop and meet up with some of you guys. I don't know, we'll find out. See ya.